development near the Persian Gulf. Word that Iraq has invaded neighboring states have been illuminated. In Washington, the White House is condemning the invasion.
Throughout the early morning hours in Baghdad, 3 CNN correspondents, Bernie Shaw, Peter Arnett, and John Holloman, live at the Al Rashid Hotel. John Holloman is standing by. John?
On August 2, 1990, under the leadership of Saddam Hussein, Iraq launched an invasion on Kuwait, and only 2 days later, he had fully occupied the country. The United Nations almost instantly rebuked Iraq's aggression and issued heavy economic sanctions. The United States and United Kingdom deployed troops into nearby Saudi Arabia. Joined by 41 allied countries, the United States led a two-part war, with the transition from Operation Desert Shield to Operation Desert Storm concurrent with the aerial bombing of Baghdad on January 17, 1991. The press was prompted to leave Iraq, but CNN journalists continued to report. With correspondents stationed at the Al Rashid Hotel, CNN kicked off the first around-the-clock broadcast of a war. Audiences had a front seat to a war filmed with cinematography. Footage from the Middle East traveled the world in seconds, and was broadcast as it occurred. In instances when footage wasn't available, computer-generated graphics were used in its place. CNN's coverage of the bombing of Baghdad averaged nearly 5 ratings points higher than ABC, 6 higher than NBC and nearly 9 points above CBS. From 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. that evening, it's estimated that CNN garnered the attention of 10,848,800 homes, comparatively 18 times higher than the previous average evening ratings. The implications of 24-hour coverage had much wider effects than just CNN's ratings. The CNN effect, according to Piers Robinson, encapsulated the idea that real-time communications technology could provoke major responses from domestic audiences and political elites to global events. Researcher Stephen Livingston expands on Robinson, enumerating the CNN effect as three-pronged. Aware of this effect, especially the role of the media as demoralizing to public sentiment on war, heavy restrictions were placed on the press access to the actual conflict. This led to pool reporters, a select few reporters that were granted conditional access by the U.S. government.
And now there are censorship restrictions, and they frankly are working under a handicap, but work they will as long as they can.
President Bush would later say,
"By God, we've kicked Vietnam syndrome once and for all."
This is in reference to the belief that the media undercut America's victory in Vietnam through critical coverage. Despite limited access, the 24-hour broadcast precedent set by CNN would shape war coverage for decades to come.